Hello Achievers! Welcome you all to our channel Strategy Sangamam in the segment of Manage the World of Management. How are you all? Hope you are doing good. We are also fine and doing good.
We want to know the origin of motivation, right? So let's see what is motivation, its origin, and some of its characteristics. Let's see what is motivation, its nature, and some of the other aspects. And actually, motivation is not a concept which comes recently. It exists from the day of human exists. There is a background of motivation in a different form, not the word used, that is the thing. So let's see one by one. It is a psychological booster. It is completely a psychology oriented one. Motivation is a concept of thing which comes under management, that is the depth concept of a psychological one. And it's a internal process. It is coming from within every individual. So that's why we are telling it is a internal process. And why motivation is necessary? Either it is necessary for the life sustainability. Even for the basic life sustainability, motivation plays a very important role, and it is a boosting thing for every individual for their life. And other thing is essential for the well-being and the growth. Once the life sustainability gets crossed, everyone will expecting to have a good growth in their life. So for their growth as well as their well-being, motivation is one of the essential thing needed. And we'll see what is the origin or where the motivation comes from. This is the transitive form of noun with the term called motive. Motive is the transitive form of noun and a Latin word. This motive is a term which comes from a Latin word called movere, which means to move on, let's move, like that. And its origin is in the period of 1970 to 75. That is, the term motivation was mentioned and recorded in the period of 1970 to 75. So, we are clear what is motivation, and let's see what are the other things which is very near to motivation. The first is sources of motivation. That is, from which source the motivation is coming from. So, the first thing is intrinsic, that is from within. So, motivation comes from within. First, it should come from the every individual. Then only we can expect the motivation from others. So, the second source is extrinsic, that is from outside, that is from other people. Maybe your parents, or maybe your family members, or maybe your official team of people, whomever it may be. So, the motivation source is in two sources. One is the intrinsic and the other one is extrinsic. And the other thing, the form of motivation. From where the motivation, or in different forms or in a different way we can categorize the motivation. So these are the three things we can categorize it in a general. The first one is positive. Positive means the positive motivation. The word we are using or the way of giving a motivation will be in a positive way. So some of the examples we can tell under the positive motivation is you can, you will. Take an example. If you are trying to motivate your kid, you should tell these words like you can do it, you will do it. So this is definitely a positive words. The kids will get motivated in a positive way. And the another form is negative. You may doubt it. Positive, that is okay. Then what is that negative? Yes, it is there. Actually, negative motivation is also one of the things which some people are using in some situations that we may know or we may not know, but in a technical aspect we can categorize this in a three different aspects. So the second one is the negative motivation. These are all some of the examples of negative motivation. See, like the fear. So that is also can be intrinsic and extrinsic. Some motivations which may comes from you as well as from outside. Like for the positive, intrinsic, extrinsic. Like for the negative, intrinsic, extrinsic. And for the demotivation, intrinsic, extrinsic. So all these three forms, the motivations may come from within as well as from outside. So the second is the negative motivation. Take an example. If a negative motivation comes from you or that is from within means, we can tell some examples. Fear, hopelessness, helplessness, fear of failure, fear of success. If we are feeling a fear about some failure or some success, or we are feeling that we feel helpless by ourselves, or we are not feeling hopeful, all these things are a negative motivation which comes from within. And the another one is extrinsic. So the negative motivations which comes from external sources is like example termination. You are working in an organization, there you are having a negative motivation called termination. Sometimes you may hear these words like blackmailing or termination or threatening. These are all a kind of negative motivation. What is motivation? The thing which is boosting or which is forcing you to do something. So that is either positive or maybe negative. Example is the termination. Suppose if you have a fear in the organization that you will get terminated, that is some kind of motivation that is making you to work well or work more. So that is the negative motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic. And the last one is the demotivation. Please be clear, the both are somehow similar, but there is some mild differences. That's why I have used these two different nearest shades to understand the difference between negative motivation and demotivation. So this demotivation also comes from within and from outside source. So these are all some of the examples, like you can't do it, your words are not considered sometimes, and unfair promotion or discouragement. So these are all some of the examples of demotivation. So if suppose it is an example of intrinsic demotivation, you feel by yourself for something, no, I can't do it, no, I won't do it. So this is a intrinsic motivation in a demotivating form, which is comes from yourself. In case it is the extrinsic one, the demotivation which comes from outside. You can't do it, said by some people. Someone is telling, no man, no, you can't do it, no, you won't do it. Or sometimes your words will not be considered. You are trying to convey something and that will not be accepted or will not be considered by some people. And unfair promotion. Take an example, in the organization, if any promotion is given to some people that is supposed to received by you, so you get demotivated and some kind of discouragements. So all these are the different forms of motivation. We all may experience this thing, and there are some more examples and some things which we will have to understand what motivation is and what are all the other things which comes under this. Okay achievers, hope you all got a very clear picture about motivation and some of the other aspects. And from the next video, we are going to see some of the thing which is clearly proved through scientific way about motivation with some live examples. Okay, hope you like this video. Subscribe our channel Strategy Sangamam, and don't forget to mention in the comment box about the motivators behind you and the motivation which you get through in your life. And one more thing, this motivation is existing everywhere and to everyone. So you can try the same in with your pets also. Because why I am saying is, we had a pet, he is no more now. His name is Kutti, very friend of every one of us. Whenever we are motivating or whenever we are encouraging him, he will do things in a very energetic manner. So that's why I am telling motivation exists with everyone and everywhere. So try it with your pets and mention that also in the comment box. And see you all soon in our next video. Manage the management and the management will manage you. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.